In the face of today's fast-paced and often stressful world, Stoicism provides a grounding perspective. It reminds us that while we can't control external events, we can control our reactions and attitudes. Stoicism encourages us to focus on what's truly essential in life and to let go of the trivialities that often consume our energy and attention. So why should we care about a philosophy that's over 2,000 years old? Because it provides timeless wisdom that's just as relevant and valuable today as it was back then. Today, we're going to explore 7 valuable lessons from Stoicism that can help us lead more resilient and fulfilling lives. The first lesson from Stoicism is, accept what you cannot control. Imagine you're standing on a beach watching the waves roll in. No matter how much you will it, you cannot command the sea to be still. It's a force of nature beyond your control. Much like the sea, there are aspects of life we simply cannot dictate. The weather, the passage of time, the actions of others, these are all outside our control. The Stoics teach us to distinguish between what we can and can't command. It's about understanding and accepting the limits of your influence. Like the traffic on your morning commute, or your boss's mood swings. These are elements you can't control. Instead of allowing these uncontrollable elements to dictate your happiness or peace of mind, the Stoics advise acceptance. This doesn't mean resignation or defeat. It's a conscious decision to not let external forces disrupt your inner tranquility. By accepting what we cannot control, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress and anxiety. The second lesson is, your reaction matters more than what happens to you. The Stoics believe that we cannot control the external events that life throws our way, but what we can control is how we respond to these events. Think of it this way. It's as if we're all sailors navigating the vast ocean of life. We can't control the weather or the waves, but we can adjust our sails and change our course. This is where the true power of Stoicism comes in. It teaches us to maintain a calm and rational mindset, regardless of the external circumstances. When life hands us lemons, we don't just make lemonade. We use those lemons to learn, grow, and become better sailors on the sea of life. Let's be clear, this isn't an easy task. It requires patience, discipline, and a lot of self-reflection. But the rewards are immense. So, the next time you find yourself in a storm, remember to adjust your sails. Remember, it's not the event itself, but our reaction to it that truly matters. The third Stoic lesson is, live in the present. Stoicism teaches us to fully embrace the now, to dwell in the current moment, to be truly present. This is the essence of mindfulness. Imagine a river, constantly flowing, never stationary. Our lives are much like this river, a ceaseless stream of moments, yet we often find ourselves not in the river, but on the banks, consumed by worries of the future or shackled by the past. This is where Stoicism steps in. It encourages us to dive back into the river, to experience the flow of the present. The future is uncertain, the past unchangeable. The present, however, is in our hands. It's our canvas to paint, our song to sing. Worrying about the future or dwelling on the past is like trying to hold the river's water, futile and counterproductive. By focusing on the present, we can live more fulfilling and meaningful lives. The fourth lesson from Stoicism is, detach from material possessions. Stepping into the world of Stoicism, we find an illuminating principle, the intentional detachment from material wealth and possessions. It's not about abandoning all worldly goods, but rather about understanding their transient nature. Imagine a sandcastle on the beach. It's beautiful, intricate, a marvel to behold. But no matter how much time and effort you invest, the tide will eventually wash it away. That's the nature of material possessions. They're here today, gone tomorrow, and attaching our happiness to them is a recipe for discontent. Instead, Stoicism encourages us to seek wealth in the immaterial, in wisdom, virtue, and the richness of our character. It's about cultivating a mindset that finds contentment in the self, independent of the external world. It's a liberating perspective, freeing us from the ceaseless cycle of desire and disappointment. Remember, it's not what we have, but who we are that truly matters.
Dependency and resentment. Imagine the disillusionment when those we try to save don't want our help or don't change in ways we expect. It's important to remember, not everyone wants or needs to be saved. Fourthly, we have enabling harmful behavior. Picture this. In your quest to help, you inadvertently allow destructive habits to flourish. By rushing to rescue, you may prevent individuals from facing the repercussions of their actions. thus enabling their harmful behavior. This is not a mark of true assistance. Real help fosters growth and promotes responsibility. It's not about saving someone from the storm, but teaching them how to weather it. Remember, helping should not mean shielding others from reality. Fifth on our list is dependence and lack of growth. You see, when we constantly step in to assist, we may inadvertently foster a dependence. It's like always cutting the food for a child who's learning to use a knife. Yes, it's safer and quicker in the short term, but in the long term, it hinders their growth and self-reliance. They never learn to do it themselves. In the same way, excessive help can rob people of the chance to grow. Helping should empower, not cripple. Next, we have the burden of responsibility. Picture this, you're the Atlas, shouldering the world of others' troubles. It's a heavy load, isn't it? This can lead to an overwhelming amount of stress. You might feel the need to constantly solve problems that aren't even yours. It's like a never-ending maze of worry and anxiety. But here's the hard truth. You can't solve everyone's problems. You're human after all. Remember, you are not responsible for other people's happiness. Eighth is breach of boundaries. When we extend our hand to help, we sometimes unintentionally trespass into someone's personal space. This can lead to discomfort for both parties involved. Imagine a scenario where your well-intentioned advice is perceived as an intrusion, creating resentment. This can strain relationships, leaving a bitter taste. Remember, every individual has a personal boundary, a space they consider sacred and private. It's essential to tread carefully, respecting these boundaries, even in our quest to help. Respect for personal boundaries is crucial. Ninth on our list is neglect of self. When we're constantly aiding others, we can inadvertently overlook our own needs and well-being. It's like trying to fill cups with a pitcher that's running dry. We may find ourselves drained, both physically and emotionally, leaving little to no energy for self-care. The irony is, to truly help others, we must first be in a healthy state ourselves.
Practice virtue and resilience. These philosophers, each in their own way, contributed to the rich tapestry of Stoicism. They applied Stoic principles to their lives, showing us that Stoicism isn't just theory, it's practice. They didn't just write about Stoicism, they lived it. And in doing so, they left us a legacy of wisdom that continues to inspire us today. These Stoic philosophers demonstrated that Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions, but transforming them. Stoicism didn't die with the ancient world. Far from it. This ancient philosophy, with its emphasis on virtue, reason, and inner peace, has left an indelible mark on the landscape of modern thought. It's as if the Stoics planted seeds of wisdom that have grown into robust trees, their branches reaching into various fields of contemporary philosophy and psychology. One such area is cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, a form of psychotherapy that helps people challenge and change unhelpful cognitive distortions and behaviors, improve emotional regulation, and develop personal coping strategies. Interestingly, the principles of CBT mirror the teachings of Stoicism. The Stoics asserted that we don't react to events themselves, but to our perceptions of these events. Similarly, CBT operates on the understanding that our thoughts, not external events, determine our feelings and behavior. It's almost as if modern psychology has taken a page out of the Stoics' handbook. But the influence of Stoicism doesn't stop at the therapist's office. It extends into our daily lives, offering a roadmap for managing everyday stresses and achieving mental well-being. The Stoics' teachings on the importance of self-control, resilience, and acceptance of what we cannot change are as relevant today as they were 2 millennia ago. In a world that often seems chaotic and beyond our control, Stoicism provides a beacon of stability. It reminds us that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. It teaches us to strive for tranquility, not by avoiding life's storms, but by developing an inner calm that can weather them. It encourages us to focus on what is within our power and to let go of what is not. From the realm of psychology to the trials of everyday life, the wisdom of the Stoics permeates modern thought. Their ancient philosophy, far from being a relic of the past, is a living, breathing guide for life in the 21st century. Even today, Stoicism continues to guide us in navigating the turbulent seas of life.